Today everyone, I am Gregorio Isog, your reporter. Our report is the marketing subsystem. Marketing channels in volume absorbed by each channel. Based on the value chain map in figure 1, farmers primarily deal with two actors, seller and processors or middlemen. There were cases, however, where they directly sell it to consumer. However, if it seldom happens, it usually involves very low volume or quantity. Sellers, on the other hand, can sell it directly to consumer or food processor, whoever may agree to the price. This is most common in the markets of downtown Goa, Sagnay, San Jose, Tigaon, and Lagunoy, where marketing activities take place twice a week on average. When cassava is sold to either consumer or food processor, at some point, the processing immediately begins at indicate by a dark green portion of the map. Marketing strategies adopted by producer and traders. Determine the specific market segment to focus on, such as food processing industry, animal feed manufacturers, or households. Create a distinct brand and distinguish your cassava goods from competitors. Establish a distribution network. Create channels to ensure products are available to consumer. Marketing cost and margin. Cost in returns of cassava farmers. Switching transaction from farmers, middlemen to seller will yield substantially low to lower, then to high profit. That is from 6.259, 0.542 to 2.029 of profit to cost ratio. Ideally, however, other factors such as bulkiness of harvest are present, which make it likely that a great portion of the harvest may be set aside to rot and not to be sold. Thus, on average, the net return of farmers is only 6.214 pesos per kilogram. The resulting loss to farmers can likely outweigh the benefit of a higher price. This provides little to no option to farmers but to sell it to middlemen, even though it will result to it not if not loss, lesser profit. Cost and returns of cassava middlemen and processors. Cassava middlemen exhibit unreasonable returns of 14.30 Philippine peso per kilogram of cassava root crop, or a 0.542 margin to cost ratio. It can also be noted in the figure that logistic, a non-value adding activity, takes up much of the portion of the total cost. They may be due to the bulkiness and low value of cassava, which cannot take substantial expenses without suffering a net loss. Costs and returns of cassava sealers. Cassava sealers, on the other hand, are shown to have the highest profit of 24.38 Philippine peso per kilogram of cassava crop, or 303% gross returns. It can also be noted, based on the preceding and succeeding financial statement, that the farmers have a highest gross return, followed by sellers and processors and middlemen. It also offers to the middlemen of cassava do not necessarily progress in the district, thus the players are primarily composed of farmers and sellers. Since middlemen derive lower profit, they have to outsource and transact other root crops or agricultural products apart from cassava. Price trends. Philippine cassava 2023 retail prices. The retail prices range for Philippine cassava is in September is between 0.22 US dollar and 0.44 US dollar per kilogram, or between 1.0.1 US dollar and 0.2 US dollar per pound. The retail price range in Philippine peso for cassava is between 12.24 Philippine peso and 24.49 per Philippine peso kilogram, or between 5.55 Philippine peso and 11.1 Philippine peso per pound in Manila and Quezon. Wool prices. In 2023, the approximate wolf prices range for Philippine cassava is between 0.15 US dollar and 0.31 US dollar per kilogram, or between 0.07 US dollar and 0.14 US dollar per pound. Philippines cassava export prices, historical trends. The export price per kilogram of cassava from Philippines has seen a steady increase over the last 5 years. In 2016, the price was 1 peso per $1, and in 2020-21, it was $1.16. This represents an increase of 16% over the 5 years period. The highest price was in 2013, when it was $1.47, and the lowest price was in 2018, when it was $0.90. Demand and supply situation. The production of cassava in the Philippines was 2,630,800 tons in 2019, and is predicted to change by an average of negative 3.39%. The country had approximately 222,441 hectares under cassava cultivation. Philippines cassava import prices. Based on the data, it is predicted that the import price per kilogram of cassava into Philippines will remain relatively stable in the next 2 years. So it is expected that the price will be around $1.16 in 2023 and $1.17 in 2024. Philippine cassava export prices. Looking ahead, we can expect the export price of cassava from Philippines to remain around the $1.16 mark in 2020-22 and 2023, and then increase slightly to $1.20 in 2024. Projected demand and supply gap. According to a report of the Philippine Institute for Development Studies, cassava production can net 21,000 per hectare annually, while processing the root crop into dried granules would net another 2,800 per every 5 tons of raw materials. A study by CORE estimate that the total use of roots and tubers in developing countries is projected to increase by 232 million tons to 635 million tons by 2020, and cassava's share of the increase is estimated to be 44%. The Department of Agriculture has published an investment guide for cassava production in the Philippines that covers the market potential, production technologies, processing methods, and financial analysis of cassava farming and processing. So, marketing opportunities and problems. So, marketing opportunities. In the Philippines, cassava is generally processed into foods items such as dry chips and native pastries like suman, bibingka, and sago. Starch from processed cassava is used in biscuit making or as sweetening agent confectionaries. So, cassava is used mainly as food, feeds, or fuel. It can also be used as raw material for pharmaceuticals and industrial products and application. Byproducts of cassava from the stem can also be used as particles boards. Livestock feeds manufactured from cassava serve as substitute for feed grains in compounded animal rations. Raw or boiled roots are made into a mash with protein concentrates such as maize, sorghum, groundnut, or oil palm kernel meals, and mineral salts for livestock feeding. These dried fields of cassava roots are fed to sheep and goats. Cassava leaf meal contains 18 to 25% protein and also a good livestock feed not only for poultry but also for the livestock. The root of cassava can be used to produce ethanol that is used as a biofuel. cassava is one of the richest fermentable substance to produce alcohol. The fresh roots contain about 30% starch and 5% sugar at the dried roots contain about 80% fermentable substance which is a good source of alcohol. Oh. Cassava has many industries uses such as in manufacturing of pharmaceutical products, paper, adhesives, and textiles. Particle board can be made from cassava stalks by cutting them into small sections and mixing them with certain resins. High demand for cassava granules for feeds manufacturing as substitute to corn. The San Miguel Food Incorporated projected a demand for cassava tuber is 6 million metric tons. So, marketing problems. Lack of efficient mechanical dryers for cassava chips. This is the most important constraint in the expansion of quality improvement of dried cassava chips in the Philippines. Drying is critical as this has implication on quality and stability of the product. Fresh cassava roots contain roughly 65% water. Removing this while require a high amount of energy in time as drying at high temperatures causes gelatinization and subsequent lacking of moisture in the chips. The problem therefore goes beyond simple drying but encompasses drying at acceptable cost. Limited access to credit and rampant pole vaulting. Many growers complain that they cannot grow cassava profitable because they do not have cash reserves. For the purchase of necessary inputs for the adaptation of recommendation agronomic practice for cassava. This make the constraint to higher productivity a socio-economic rather than a technical problem. Credit or production support for cassava would enable farmers to improve their management practices in growing cassava and hence increase production per unit area.
These are the support subsystems for the cassava industry in the Philippines. Institutions supporting the commodity system of cassava. Number 1, San Miguel Corporation. San Miguel Corporation has been investing heavily on plant construction and supply-based development since 1995. The greatest challenge in the future will be to put in a place system that results in an adequate and stable year-round supply of cassava for the distillery. Strengthening the cassava industry in the Philippines requires strengthening the linkage between productions and market accompanied by improved access to credit, supportive government policies, and appropriate technical support. Number 2, Department of Agrarian Report or DAR. In support to the cassava enterprise, the DAR through Agrarian Report Community Connectivity Enterprise Support Service or ARCCESS project provided common service facilities in the form of 4WD tractor, granulator and dump truck coupled with agri-extension service and organizational management. The cooperative was likewise a recipient of Post-Harvest Facilities or PHF under Agrarian Report Support Project, comprised of a 2,500 cabans capacity business type warehouse with of and a solar dryer. The lot where it was built was the counterpart of the cooperative. Bundled with the PHF is Agriculture and Agribusiness Development. Number 3, Centro Internacional de Agricultura Tropica or CIAT. CIAT is a research organization that works with farmers, scientists, and policymakers to develop sustainable agricultural practices. They have published a report on the status and potential of the Philippine cassava industry. Development programs and projects. Support services. DA through the National Cassava Programs provides technical support services in areas covering production, post-harvest machineries, equipment, and facilities market linkage and development, extension support, education and training, and research and development. DA through the Agribusiness and Marketing Assistance Service or AMAS and its regional counterparts Agribusiness and Marketing Assistance Division or AMAD provide webinars on agribusiness, investment opportunities and market linkage activity. DA through the Agricultural Training Institute or ATI makes available technical training and seminars. DTI provides market and trade promotions, as well as the provisions of shared service facilities to qualified associations. Gahong-Gahong Cassava Program is a poverty alleviation program in the Philippines that mobilizes farmers to engage in a sustainable cassava farming technique complemented by a microfinance, the National Corn and Cassava Program, one of the banner programs of DA that aims to increase the production of quality corn and cassava for human consumption, feeds and industrial uses, as well as empower corn and cassava farmers. Production support services. Support to cassava productions. Provision of high-yielding varieties of cassava seed pieces in support to contract growing arrangement between farmers and processors and users and distribution of post-harvest facilities under counterpart funding arrangement. Farm mechanicians and tractor full program. Provision for farm tractors and implements, flow and other attachments, mechanical planters, under counterpart arrangement with LGUs, farmer organizations, and service providers. Organic-based agriculture program. Establishment of mixing plants and organic fertilizer production center and promotion on the use of non-bio and organic fertilizers and partnership with LGUs. Techno demos and distribution of lime, dolomite to farmer cooperatives to correct soil acidity and the farm clusters. Soil fertility mapping and sampling undertaken by the DA Regional Field Units and the Bureau of Soils and Water Management and Agrikalikasan Program promoting sustainable agriculture practices. Training programs and seminar on cassava. We also work toward the enhancement of capabilities of our farmers through training and seminars on various cassava technologies from production to processing. Investment priorities. Korean firm Daisen Philippine Corp is investing 756.24 million pesos to expand its cassava tapioca starch production utilizing modern manufacturing technology. Other agro-services. Lingayat Ahayagan Cassava Farmers Association, Quezon Junior United Farmers Association, Philippine Agro-Industrial Corp, Biogreen Processing Incorporation, Triangle Industrial Corp, modeling industrial and commercial core. And these are the support subsystem for the development of cassava industry in the Philippines.
And for the integrated analysis and the SWOT overall analysis, for the strength, we have the location is suitable for cassava cultivation. Farmers are used to growing cassava and it's easy to do. Cassava produces main product as well as byproducts. The availability of technology for cassava production and processing. For the weaknesses, we have the farmer institution and local government attention to cassava is weak. The limited capital for cassava farming, cash flow from cassava farming is narrow, and the lack of knowledge of farmers in cassava innovation technology. For the opportunities, we have the cassava demand may increase greatly in the future. The application of improved varieties and cassava cultivation technologies may improve productivity and increase farmers' cash flow, and the establishment of partnerships with cassava business actors. Lastly, the threats, we have the dynamics of market preference, the stigma of low image of cassava as a local food, and there are many competitors of imported starch.
So, here are the critical problems of the cassava in the Philippines. First is short shelf life of harvested roots and processed products. Second is harvesting is laborious and time consuming. Third is strategy problems, routes for planting materials. The fourth is high production and post-production costs. The fifth is low productivity. Here are the prospects of cassava in the Philippines. Cassava is the one of the Philippines' main crops and contributes a lot of the Philippine economy, with 217,000 Filipino farmers relying on cassava production. Due to cassava is drought tolerance and requires low investment as well as the increased demand for cassava raw materials, the cassava planting area in the Philippines had gradually increased or recent years. However, for cassava growers, it is difficult to make profits only by sell our cassava because cassava is not resistant to storage, which is to root within 48 hours. So more and more people are willing to carry out cassava processing, value added, and sales. Cassava root can be processed into various products and can replace various related raw materials. But in the recent years, cassava flour production in the Philippines has attracted more and more people attention became cassava flour is considered as a good wet flour substitute. Government support cassava flour production. The second is cassava flour is more competitive than wet flour.
Conclusion and recommendation for improvement cassava productivity. So number one, the opportunity to increase cassava productivity can be done through cultivation technology improvement, planning for developing cassava as local food, dominant factors identify as potential for cassava-based local food development are the sustainability of cultivations, locations, and increasing demand. There are four important strategies and recommendations that farmers need to continuously monitor. Number one, by exploiting strengths and opportunities in cassava development. Number two, by overcoming the weakness of cassava resource owned to take advantage of existing opportunities. Number three, by trying to find the strength of the cassava farming and use to ward off the threats with coordination between parties. And number four, where the traits and weaknesses of cassava farming can be faced by well-targeted and steady policies.